Choices that you make in the supermarket today will determine your food supply in the future. It is not logical, it is not sustainable to be doing farming thousands of miles away from where people live, and we need to move towards technologies that replace that. I'm Peter Barber, the CEO of ComCrop. ComCrop is Singapore's first and only rooftop farming company. So what we're doing is using the latest engineering solutions to farming, which is hydroponic technology. So hydroponic farming is basically growing plants in water. So we pump water with fertilizer in it through these growing channels so the roots can pick up the nutrients from the water, and then that water is recycled back through our tank, and then approximately 90% of the water that goes into these plants comes back and goes again. So they're only using about 10% of it, and then we just top up those levels of water and nutrients as we need to. People also use hydroponic technology in what's called controlled environment indoor farming, and that gives you even more control over the temperature that you're growing your plants in and the exact amount of light that you're giving the plants, because it's done with artificial lighting where they use computers to control the light spectrum that the plants are getting so they get the optimum growth patterns. However, there is a balance, because obviously if you're doing indoor farming, you need to climate control the room, which means basically air conditioning, and you also need to pay for electricity to run the lights 24/7. We've found that rooftop farming is kind of this hybrid somewhere in the middle, because we're using a lot less power but achieving similar results. We use a commonly available system called AutoGrow. So AutoGrow is a computer system which has a sensor, so it monitors the pH level and the nutrient level, temperature and other elements within the water, so we can know exactly what the condition of the water is, adjust our nutrient levels for the plants, and that allows us to optimize things for the best growing conditions for the plants. This is a really sustainable way of growing vegetables because you recycle your water and your nutrients, and then we use the natural sunlight to be able to grow the plants. The other big difference of what we're doing is because we're in a controlled environment, we can reduce how many pests are coming into this greenhouse. I think that the fact that there's so many pesticides and so many chemicals in the global food chain is a really big problem, and it's a really big health issue. This is the only pest things that we use are sticky paper to catch the pests if they come in, which means we don't have to use pesticide. We're producing between 50 to 80 kilograms of vegetables here every day. We're also going to expand this site to produce 3 to 4 more greenhouses over the other side, which will be about 2,000 square meters of growing space, which will allow us to increase our volume from the 20 tons a year to 200 tons a year. And then we'll also be using things like sensors to monitor the light levels during out the day. So if we have cloudy weather or rain where we get less sunlight during the day, we can compensate that with artificial lighting as well. I've lived in Singapore for almost 30 years. My children are Singaporean. I see this as national service. Singapore is a very unique city-state where there is not a lot of production happening here, and we're very reliant on international supply of vegetables. So when things like COVID happened, the entire global supply chain of food actually got disrupted. So it really put a huge amount of importance on the fact that we really do need to grow food here, and we need to find new and innovative ways to achieve that in an urban environment. If we don't support the Singapore food production ecosystem, we won't have a choice. We'll be at the mercy of international supply forever. When you're starting something that no one's ever done before, it's very hard. It's really, really hard. And it took us over a year to be able to prove to the supermarket chains that we were consistent and we were there every day. Because the supermarket has to have a consistent volume. They need to know that you're going to give them 50 kilograms every day or 100 kilograms every day or whatever it is. And now our relationship is getting stronger and stronger, and that just takes a lot of time and hard work to achieve it. Perseverance is what gets you through at the end of the day. It's not easy, but the end results are definitely worth it. As we get better, as we build a food ecosystem here in Singapore, there'll be more high-tech jobs in people doing artificial intelligence to be able to track plant growth, to be able to optimize the way that lights help grow the plants and how to give the right nutrients to plants. These are all high-end scientific jobs that will be available in Singapore as the industry grows. So I think if we can get these systems to work, if we can prove that these urban farming environments are sustainable, not only from a growing point of view, but also financially, then it can really change the way that we're producing and distributing food around the world and make a big change that hasn't been seen for over 50 years.